Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Derek, and today I'm joined by
Karen.
Karen, and we are going to be discussing what's happening on GH this week. So, we didn't have an episode on Monday, it was Labor Day, but we pick up where Sunny shot Jagger. So, let's
Yeah.
talk about this.
Can I say I did not expect Sonny to do it? I thought he was going to have somebody else do it because that's like his MO, but I should have known. He does all his like personal missions, he does shoot them point blank in the chest. Like he did murder AJ that way, and he did shoot Dante the exact same way.
Yeah, I remember. I kind of, I I don't know. I have some issues with it. I kind of expected it because I knew Adam Harrington was leaving the show, so I figured Sonny would probably do something to him. But since I'm watching GH in '92, like it's just like I just feel like bringing him on was kind of destroying the history for the original Jagger.
I feel like in the last couple of years of General Hospital, there has been a terrible trend of bringing back a legacy character, getting you
Mhm.
slightly invested in them, and then murdering them horribly. And I don't like it.
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
I
Yeah.
loved when Jagger came on. I was very excited for the storyline. I thought somebody with that much history with Brenda, with
Hmm.
Karen, with Sunny would
Hmm.
come on and be such an interesting touchstone for the 90s. And then
Hmm.
they were like going in the right direction with him. And then all of a sudden he went off the deep end.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think Adam Harrington did a good job in the role. He just
Yes.
kind of got annoying at the end, but I think that's the way they were writing him. I don't think it was him
Oh, well, they
necessarily.
took him from being right, which he was right. When he came on, he was, except for his behavior towards Jason, which was a little vindictive. I get it.
Hmm.
I understand.
Yeah,
And that was kind of bad. I liked how that was pushing Anna and Jason together, but I
yeah,
I thought he was okay and a little tough as an FBI agent. But then, like you
right.
said, suddenly when they course corrected the
Hmm.
storyline, which they did, like it was like a hard right turn,
Hmm.
all of a sudden he went from being an FBI agent with a grudge to a psycho who would do anything to take Sonny out. So this is the normal thing they do where characters have to be sacrificed to prop up Sonny.
Right,
It's just
exactly.
what they do.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to say was I just kind of felt like Jagger was. It wasn't the same character as he was in
No,
'92 at all. Like not
no.
at all. And I don't know. Maybe I know they're not going to bring back Antonio Sabato Jr. I get that. That's fine. But
So
like,
the thing is, like Antonio Sabato Jr., when he found out the character was coming back, was upset because they didn't even ask him.
no, they didn't ask him.
So, like, obviously, they had no intention of making Jagger Cates a continuous character.
Right.
So, why not just bring on a random FBI agent? I understand having that
Yeah.
vitriol. That was cool. The hatred about Karen, because I too am mad about when Karen was on drugs at the strip club still. Um, it never given that one up. And like I thought that was an interesting angle, but like you said, it's not Jagger Cates. He doesn't act at all like Jagger.
No. Well, I thought the writers got that wrong. I think it should have been the motive should be more about Stone than Karen because Karen and Jagger got divorced and and
And
she
Karen
died
was murdered.
years after they were divorced. So I thought their rivalry should have been more Stone driven than Karen driven.
Yeah, except that Sonny was very good to Stone. It
He
was
was,
one of the moments where Sonny did that thing where it makes you like him for 5 minutes. If you're a
yeah,
Sonny fan, I'm
I get
sorry.
that, but I think Jagger would be jealous that Stone was or Sonny was a better brother to him than he
I
was.
feel like Sonny did throw that in Jagger's face multiple times.
Yeah. Hmm.
But they didn't really, like you said, they didn't really link it back the way they could have. And also Jagger having a son and then not using the son in any way in the storyline seemed like a wasted opportunity to me.
Did the son appear in the 2008 Night Shift storyline that
Oh my
Antonio came back for?
god.
I know they mentioned
I
him
don't
then.
remember.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
remember
remember. I
either.
know they talked about it because they were like basically getting divorced in the very first episode. But what I remember about Night Shift is just a lot of smash cuts and a
Mhm.
lot of like
Anthony coming
crazy.
back, and yeah, that's all I really remember
I
too.
was more invested in Robin and Patrick in Night Shift than anyone else, even though Kelly was there, and they haven't had Kelly on in a long time, but like
Yeah,
um all the doctors are gone now.
yeah. All right, well, let's talk about Lucky. Jonathan Jackson is back as Lucky, which is amazing.
Yes.
Huge fan of him. Um, I'm still trying to figure out the storyline. He's at a compound somewhere. Do you remember where they were?
They're in the middle of, I don't know. It looks like they might be somewhere. I couldn't tell you. I know
Yeah,
it's
I
somewhere
don't.
where
I
they're.
didn't get that. I think Laura said it, and I don't remember where it
I
was.
think they were. It might be in Africa, but I'm not
Yeah, I think you're
particularly
right.
sure
In Africa.
where they did. You're right. They did mention it. Laura mentioned it, but I was just kind of more invested in
Mhm.
seeing what's Lucky's excuse for leaving his family and never coming back, and it
Right,
just
and not
seems like.
going to his father's funeral, but and things like that.
Well, the great part about this being Jonathan Jackson is that Jonathan Jackson is the Lucky that worked the longest with Tony Geary, and he
Hmm.
is basically Tony Geary too.
Yeah,
Like the way
sure.
he acts, the way he moves, the way he does the character is very reminiscent of early Luke.
Hmm.
And he has that insecurity that nobody really needs him around, and he's not important unless he's doing something important. So I think that's going to be
That's
the
gonna come into
underpinning.
play for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's being held captive by this guy. I forget his name.
I don't care.
Yeah,
Sidwell. His name is
Sidwell.
Sidwell.
Yes.
He's barely fleshed out. He's just like a mustache twirling guy who's holding
Yeah.
Lucky and the new doctor prisoner,
Right.
Gannon.
Yes. Hmm. And we see Holly again, who is has her own agenda. She's trying to get something from
Always.
Sidwell. So I don't. So I will probably see more next week about that whole
Can we
storyline.
talk about how beautiful that scene was? Because
Yes.
they kept the camera tight on Lucky's face. And
Hmm.
when Lucky hears Hallie's voice, the eyes on him got real big as he
Uh-huh.
recognized that it was Holly behind him. And then
Uh-huh.
she had the exact same reaction. They tightened it on her face, and her eyes just went up slightly as she was like, oh, shit.
So my question is this: maybe you know the answer. Have Holly and Lucky interacted before? Because I don't think they have.
Not on camera that
Yeah,
I
I
can
thought.
remember, but considering the way that Luke pops on and off canvas, even when he was on the canvas, and how many times he was
Mhm.
on adventures with Holly, that I have to assume that they've met multiple times, especially since Lucky and Ethan are brothers, and Ethan is
True.
Holly's son.
True.
And they have interacted on screen together.
Right. Okay.
But don't
Yeah.
quote me on that. There's this like
Yeah.
big break where I was in college and I missed some stuff.
Yeah. So Laura and Kevin are still on their way to find Lucky. So hopefully next week they find him,
Excited.
and then we can finally get him back to Port Charles, which is what we want. We didn't really see much of Dante and the Lulu storyline. Lulu's still in a coma, waiting, and she needs a liver donation,
Right.
or part of her
And
liver donated, or
we
something.
found out that so far Nicholas has some kind of unknown liver issue that
Right.
rules him out because he's the number one you would choose for the donation since he initially gave bone marrow when
Yeah,
Lulu was
and
a
when she
baby.
was young, yeah. I do remember that actually.
That was a great storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So Carly and Sunny are pretending to have slept together because Sunny has an alibi for Jagger's murder, which I don't
Are
know if they're
we
gonna pull that off.
setting up for wedding number 6? I will lose my
I
mind.
do not want wedding number 6. I like them apart. I kind of want Carly with Brennan, to be honest. I like them. I like their chemistry.
I think Carly and Brennan have a lot of potential and a lot of interest. And I feel like Carly is so frustrated with Sunny, but she did this
Hmm.
on instinct because she's God, it's been 20 years of her doing whatever Sunny asks her to do whenever he asks.
Right.
And she did not know he had murdered an FBI agent, or she would have told him to go pound sand. She did not know what she was signing up for, as usual,
Mhm.
because she doesn't think.
Mhm.
She's impulsive. And
Mhm.
I just Jocelyn Jax is the MVP this week, by the way.
Yeah.
But like she just said yes because she always says yes to Sonny,
Mhm.
always. And then he turned around and made it look like they slept together, and she was furious because she knew how her daughter was going to react to that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have to say Tracy's reaction just was amazing. Jane Elliott was phenomenal in those scenes.
How could this happen in Monica's house? This
Yeah.
is terrible.
I guess they off camera they set up the scene where they were, having sex upstairs in Tracy's bedroom. That was amazing. Jane
Uh,
Elliott is a genius. I love her.
and she doesn't even have to do much. She just with a
Mhm.
look, one word,
Yes.
she's brilliant. I love her. That reaction, I too would have been like, burn the house to the ground.
Yes.
It's too much. Burn it to the
Absolutely.
ground.
Absolutely. And Lois was trying to she was change her voice, so she can sort of
Trey
dialect it.
hired her a voice coach.
Right, which I thought was kind of out of her character. She usually doesn't care what people think of her.
Lois? No, she
Yeah,
doesn't. And I think she became insecure when that rude caller called in and
right.
was like, "I can't
Mhm,
listen to you. You sound like crap." And I was just like, I couldn't believe that the Lois Cirillo
mhm.
of, who got married at Coney Island and all that and didn't care about nothing would care
Yeah,
that some like woman called in and was mad about her accent. And me, a person who found her accent really annoying back in the day, was like, "You leave her alone."
right. I actually never minded her accent. I didn't really think about it, but
I think I like it more on Lois than I ever did on Olivia.
oh
Um,
yeah, for sure.
I
I think
and I actually really like the way Brooklyn has softened it. She has a
mhm,
very pretty accent.
right.
And
I
I
agree.
love Lois. And I think her accent and her nails and her bright blue eyes are all part of her
Mhm.
intense charm.
Yeah, those were great scenes with the Quartermain clan with Ned, Olivia, Lois, Brooklyn, Tracy. Those
I
were
like
all
that Ned and Olivia went immediately to bat for Lois and they were very
yes.
upset on her behalf. That was great. I think it's a shame that it's too awkward for them to have put Lois and Ned back together because of real life stuff. But
Right.
because they really do have great on screen chemistry. But I do like Olivia, so it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, Ned has definitely changed over the years, so I do like him with Olivia. We're
Ned's
watching 90s
mean
right now, and I
in
don't like
90s.
him.
Ned is mean. If you're like, Ned is such a nice
Mhm.
figure, he's such a great father and a wonderful husband, I charge you to watch something from the 90s for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
He's a
He's not the
monster.
same person at all.
And I loved him then, even though he was a bad, bad man.
Yeah, yeah, I like him too. I mean, he's a good
Wally
character.
Kurth is charming.
He is. All right, so we'll move on to Drew and Willow. I don't know how you.
Ew.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ew.
no, no, no,
No, no.
not into it. Even though
Um,
Cameron Matheson still looks great, he's a hottie,
Look,
but
my
not
problem
into it.
is not like my problem is that it's a little too pseudo incestuous. Like
Yeah,
he's been kind of a fatherly figure to Willow for a long time, which gives it kind of a weird, gross air.
yeah,
And he's been a father figure almost directly to Michael for a long time. And, because
hmm
Sonny is a deadbeat and AJ's dead. So like
right.
he's got these uncles like Jason and Drew who have been giving him the advice and being the fathers for him. And then
Mhm.
this man is sleeping with the mother
With
and
Nina,
then
yeah,
yeah, and then going after the daughter and then he goes, "I think there's a real connection between me and Willow." And I'm like, "I don't believe you."
yeah, it's just a
And
weird attraction.
it feels very out of character for when
Mhm.
Drew was Billy. Like it just doesn't feel like it's the same person.
Yeah, Billy Miller Drew wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I
Mm-mm.
don't think so. And also I was kind of disgusted when he said when he asked her if Alan would be proud of him.
Yeah,
Like I was like, this is like a weird. I mean, yeah, Alan was a hoe, but like he always loved Monica.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of issues with that storyline. I don't know why they're going there. They just need to drop it,
It's
in my
very
opinion.
soapy,
Mhm.
in that way. I think it's interesting to try and break up Michael and Willow after they worked so hard to get together. Like, they tend to hate long-term couples on soaps,
Yeah,
except for
Michael
Mac and
never really
Felicia.
has a long-term love. Like, he always like, something always happens with Michael's relationships.
Well, I feel bad for Michael because he's a decent guy,
He is.
which means he doesn't get put into the storylines he needs to be put in unless
Mhm.
he's being compromised by Sonny, which of course he is this week because Sonny.
Yeah. Yeah, now he's covering for Sunny, which is just like,
Why?
again, like,
Why?
yeah,
Why are they
well,
all doing this? I just feel like they do it out of habit. I can't imagine that this is
and
good for the
especially because
family.
the last time with the whole Nixon Falls storyline, Michael and him were not on good terms for a really long time. So I don't feel like this Michael would cover for Sunny.
I don't think he should.
No.
I don't think any of them should. This is not a situation where Sonny was in a bad spot and had to do a bad thing. Sonny
Mhm.
planned to murder this man, and he killed him on the Quartermain property, which is a punch to the gut of Monica Quartermain because he
Yeah.
did murder Monica's son.
Yeah.
So, like, why he shouldn't even be on the Quartermain property.
Yeah.
It
I
makes me
agree.
angry anytime he's anywhere near the Quartermain. I hate it. I hate it. Get away from the Quartermain, Sonny.
All right. Well, let's talk about Christina. Mm,
What is happening with Christina?
I this is this is what I'm most upset about, like, to be
Okay.
honest, the whole Christina Molly thing. Like, I'm team Molly. I don't agree with Christina's decision to keep the baby at all.
Mhm.
I think Christina is very selfish, and I
Yep.
think Kate Manzi plays her more selfishly than the previous one.
Yep.
I think that Christina is I didn't realize how much Christina was like Sunny, to be honest, and she really is like
Well,
Sunny.
she wasn't. They
And she
they have
used to not
currently
be.
just made her like that.
Right.
The
Mhm.
last I feel terrible for not remembering her name at the moment, but the girl that played Christina previously,
Lexi Ainsworth.
yes, Lexi
Yeah,
Ainsworth. So
yeah.
when Lexi's Christina came out of the situation with the cult and all of that, she became a much more responsible human being. She did look like she had a little touch of ADHD and nobody cared. Like,
Right.
cause and they just never paid any attention to her at all. And now it looks like she's showing symptoms of bipolar disease. And again, no one cares. Um,
Mhm.
Alexis, I think Alexis is in this weird situation where she named her daughter Christina, which reminds her of her dead sister. So she's a
Mhm.
little more precious towards Christina than she should be. It's not fair to Molly
No,
at
it's
all.
not at all.
And I don't think it's right.
And I
Was
agree with Molly
I
when she says that, she protects Christina over
She
her.
does.
And she does.
Absolutely. But
Mhm.
my big problem was initially with this storyline, I was on Christina's side because Christina was doing her sister a favor and TJ was acting like she should be kept in a box in their basement until she gave birth to that baby. And so it was hard in the beginning to be on Molly and TJ's side, with TJ being so wildly out of character
Mhm.
for the sweet man that he's always been. I've always really
He's
liked
never
TJ.
been like that before either.
No, and I kind of get what he was saying about Sunny.
Mhm.
Because I too dislike Sunny intensely. So when
Mhm.
he was like, get away from, I don't want our baby anywhere near it. But like he acts like he said no to this entire situation when he was fully on board with the sisters doing this setup. And then he
Mhm.
turns around and he goes, I never wanted it to be this way. And I'm like, well, the time for that was before she got pregnant.
Right.
And now you're in a bad situation. So I think that is what set Christina on the wrong path mentally for this entire situation. And I
Mhm.
was still with her until she suddenly started calling it her baby, and she was hypothetically, what if me and Blaze raised this baby? And then they drop kicked Blaze right out of the storyline for no reason.
Mhm.
I don't
I
know. So
agree
now
with
Christina's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
But again, this is the second time they've tried a relationship for Christina, and the second time they failed to be able to handle a lesbian relationship, which is crazy.
You know what's funny? All their gay relationships never seem to work out. They always write out of
Lucas and
character.
Brad.
Yeah, Lucas and Brad, Christina and her teacher. That was
That was weird, though. That was an
yeah,
uncomfortable relationship. That was a little
yeah, and
too
now
May,
Christina
December
and
for me.
Blaze, and then it just never they never seem to write a good gay relationship on the
I'm
show.
upset about that because, I mean,
Yeah,
look at the year now. They should be able to very easily run the same the same scenarios. We should be having baby swapping with a lesbian couple. We should be
Mhm.
having
Mhm.
kidnappings with a gay couple. There should be no difference between the straight and
I
gay couples
agree.
on the show. It's dumb.
Mhm.
It's a failure that they should really. I mean, they've got new writers now, so let's give them a chance.
Yeah.
But like Christina, they just eliminated her relationship. They
Just like
eliminated
that.
her sanity. And
Mhm.
now she's mob mall daughter after she had such a breakdown after what Sonny did to Dex. All of a sudden she's like, Sonny, go kill people for me.
Yeah, I don't know what's
I'm
going on with that.
confused as to where they're going with her. And it's not, I don't think it's a good
I feel
place.
like Christina is gonna get charged with Jagger's murder, and I think that's where they're heading. Because we'll get to this in a second, but
Mhm.
Alexis dumped the gun, in and Liz and, Rick saw her.
Mhm.
So
Of
let's
all
talk
the
about that.
people,
Let's talk
the
about
okay, so number one, good on Rick for showing
Yeah.
up with the flowers and really trying to charm Liz into at least talking to him again because Rick, before
Mhm.
he left the show, went off the deep end in kind of a really fun way.
Yeah.
And I love Rick Lansing so much. So this is great for me that he's back and
Yeah.
still as handsome as ever. So
Mhm, he
incredible
looks great,
skincare
yeah.
routine he's got going on
Mhm.
there. But
Mhm.
yeah, so he convinced Liz to go for ice cream and they
Mhm.
happen to go by the bridge when poor Alexis is having, again, a crisis of faith that she should
Mhm.
not have had because she was too busy trying to protect Christina. She thought Christina had killed Kate
Right.
and she had the gun. And she was smart in the way that she stood on that bridge and tried to get Diane to talk her off that ledge.
Yeah.
But Diane was busy. We'll get there in a minute. So finally she decides she's not going to do it and I'm like, "Oh, good, good, good." And then she walks back and dumps the gun over the bridge just in time to be seen by her ex-husband and
Mhm.
Liz.
Yeah, and she claims it was a phone, which it definitely
Oh,
wasn't.
come on.
And
It
they
was a
knew
big
exactly what it
giant
was.
gun. It was a big silver giant. Alexis, come on now.
Right? So later on in the week, Liz and Rick go to the police and report what they saw to Chase, and, like, Rick is definitely trying to bury Alexis for some reason.
So I think it's because of the deciding on what side you're on, Christina or Molly's. I think
Yeah,
Rick believes, and I don't think what Rick did was right. I know he was being such an ass, and
he was.
I was like, oh, Rick, no, because like it kind of screwed him with Elizabeth because he was making waves with her,
Mhm,
and he bullied her into going to the police department to report it because Liz was
mhm,
just like, I don't know what I saw. And if anyone asks, I didn't see anything. And I was like, yes, Liz, exactly.
mhm,
And he was like, no, I'm a person of the court. I have to. And he's right. Legally, he does. And he was in the right for doing that. But
mhm.
walking back and saying, remember, Alexis murdered somebody that one time was
Oh,
a
yeah,
really dick thing to do.
it was.
It was nasty.
Yeah, that was not cool,
It
but,
was I really hated that, and I also loved it because, like, on one hand, I hated it because, like, I always want redemption for these guys that were,
mhm.
Sonny's whipping boys in the past, and I kinda want them to get their own, but that was a misstep on the character's part if he thought he was gonna redeem himself.
I agree, yeah. So Ava, and Jason, we'll talk about that, the whole
Best pairing ever.
yeah. So Ava's about to be killed by Kate's accomplice, whoever she is, I forget her name.
Boyle, Detective Boyle,
Yes,
but
and,
that's not her real name, so it doesn't matter.
right, and so Jason comes to her rescue. And I really like the chemistry that they have. I think they have really good, like, on-screen chemistry, the 2
I
of
have to
them.
tell you, I have never seen a character opposite Mara West that doesn't enjoy great chemistry because
I
she is that
agree.
good.
She's
She's done a wonderful job with
Mhm,
Sunny, with
mhm,
Kate, with
mhm.
Jason, even with Nina, who like she made Nina very human. She does a
Yeah,
great job.
yeah, and I miss when Nina and Ava reconciled because they were very cordial this week, and they were talking and, like, they were friends again.
They basically had a conversation where Nina, like Ava, told her everything that had gone wrong.
Mhm,
And I think when she did, Nina saw in her that all the mistakes that Nina made. And
mhm,
Ava just basically said, I missed when we were friends. And Nina's
Mhm.
like, me too. And after that, they were like, I guess we're friends again. And I was like, yes, thank you. Because I really like
Yeah,
their friendship.
right.
And she even tried to get her a lawyer this week. What
Yeah.
the?
So I guess we'll end with Anna showing up at Sonny's with a couple officers, and Sonny has just discovered that one of his guns is missing,
Mhm.
and he gives the gun that he killed Jagger with Jason to dispose of. And Anna shows up and starts searching the premises, and Dex already knows where all the guns are. So how convenient!
I love Dex. Well, of course he does. Of course
Yeah,
he does. He
yeah,
used to work there. It's like
right.
you going back to a retail store you used to work in, and you're like, I know where they hide everything. It's in the back on the top.
Yeah. So Sonny takes out his wherever he keeps his gun. I guess it's like a safe where he keeps all his guns. And,
He has like 8 guns. That's a lot of guns he's got there.
yeah,
I don't know. It's probably too
and
many.
Anna
It's probably
tells
got
him to
like 6.
open it, and he opens it, and there's one missing, and Sonny claims to have not known it was missing. So, and then I think that's where we left off, right? That's where the ending.
Yeah, there's a lot going on that I want to like kind of dip into. First, Anna is very disappointed to see Jason standing
Oh,
in
that's
there with
right.
Sonny. And
Mhm.
in that moment, I was so pissed at Jason because Sonny said, get rid of the gun. And Jason, like Carly, didn't hesitate, took that gun and said, okay, I'll
Mhm.
get rid of it. And it's
Right.
like, at that moment, Jason, you were clean. You had
Mhm.
nothing going on. You had called the cops because he
Mhm.
found that guy who Boyle had hit with the car because Ava, of course, was trying to save her own ass and pull the wheel. And that
Mhm.
guy got hit. Jason called an ambulance for that guy, which is like him. He always does that. He called
Of
the ambulance for
course. Yeah.
Dante. He's not
Mhm.
as horrible as Sonny. He's
No.
got morals and a code. He doesn't shoot people point blank in the chest when they're unarmed. It's just not a thing he does.
Right.
So then he saves Ava and he talks Ava out of shooting Boyle because Ava's like, I don't deal with this. Let's just get rid of her. And he calls the
Yeah.
police. He does the right thing again. So I'm like, Jason's evolving.
Mhm.
Yay. And then all of a sudden, Sonny's just like, jump for me.
Mhm.
And Jason goes, how high? And
Mhm.
I was disappointed. And then when Anna came in and she was also extremely disappointed in him, I was
Mhm.
like, good. At least somebody on this show feels the way I feel. Cause Anna has
Mhm.
been kind of talking in his ear and being like, bro, you're like right on the edge of freedom.
Mhm.
Don't let him light you on fire to keep himself warm, which is what
Right.
Sonny did to Carly
Mhm.
not a few days earlier.
Yeah, I don't understand how we got back to Carly and Jason doing whatever it was, whatever
Different
that
writers.
Sonny needs, because he was horrible to them for a really long time, and now they're all of a sudden they're back to like doing whatever he wants, which is not right. I feel like
So
they should have some resentment still towards him.
there was an episode, I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I just, for the first time in a long time, Sonny said something to Jason, and Jason said, copy that. And I was so angry
Mhm.
because I call him the copy that robot. And I feel like in my mind, I feel like, and I know this is just me being hopeful, it's like I feel like that's Steve Burton's way of saying, oh, we're back to this again.
Yeah.
Because Steve Burton came back like a firecracker and he has been really killing it.
Mhm.
His scenes with Liz, like with Rebecca Hurst, all his scenes have been amazing and hot, and like
Mhm.
him at the pool with her, and his relationship with Carly as he's renegotiating it because like they're in love but they're not in love, whatever they are.
Mhm.
In a perfect world, they would have been in a thruple years ago, and that's
Yeah.
why they're trying to
Mhm.
protect this member of their triad. But like, it
Mhm.
doesn't make sense because Sonny cheated on Carly, broke up with Carly, moved on
Mhm.
with his life, did all this horrible stuff to her, left her in the dust, called her a traitor, told all these people they betrayed him. And he goes, I didn't take my meds for a week, so like everyone forgive me. And they did. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
And he goes to Anna and he's like, I don't know if you know this, but I was off my meds for a while. And Anna's like, you still suck. And I was like,
Thank
yeah.
God Anna has, like, the sense to, like, not give in to him.
Yo, Finale Hughes is the goat. Like,
Yeah.
she's her and Laura turning on Sunny was
Mhm.
not on my bingo card, but it's like my best thing ever because Laura only ever tolerated Sunny because of Luke. She did
Yeah.
not like him in the 90s. You can see it very clearly on her face. that she
Mhm.
did not want anything to do with this little mobster boy.
No, not
Um,
at all.
but I got to tell you, the players this week that were incredible. I did not like the storyline with the changing Lois's accent. I don't know what the point of that was. I'm not a
No.
fan of it. Um, I don't know. Other than Ned and Olivia standing up for her, I don't care at all about that.
Mhm.
I love Jocelyn ripping Carly a new one from here to San Francisco and back. That was amazing.
Yes,
Amazing.
I agree. I love that.
Incredible work, wonderful acting.
Mhm.
Both mother and daughter like crushed that scene, knocked it right out of the park.
Mhm.
From Laura Wright banging on that door and refusing to let Joss not let her in, to
Mhm.
Jocelyn telling her she was basically a moron, was like, chef's
Mhm.
kiss. Chef's kiss. I'm
Amazing.
sad. Yeah, amazing. I'm sad that Kate's is dead, but
Yeah.
but I also like, let's say, I loved seeing Mara West with her hair undone, like in the
Mhm.
ringlets and in a little Port Charles PD sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And Diane's greatest moment ever when she was just like, "I'm here for my client." And Anna's like, "And plus one." And she's like, "A plus one." So all of that when she kept trying to get out of representing Ava, that was very funny and very on point. The actors this week were really killing it.
I
Killing
agree.
it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so predictions. What do you think is gonna happen in the next couple weeks?
I think somehow you're right. I think somehow this is going to get pinned on Christina because Christina is literally
Mhm.
walking around town saying one down, one to go, meaning she's after Ava, and no
Yeah.
one seems to think she's having a psychotic break and needs to be maybe evaluated. So
Agreed.
I think if, I think if Maurice Bernard is on track for retirement, which he said a couple years ago, that he was only doing 3 years, so I don't really know. I kind of hope
Mhm.
not, but who knows? But
Yeah.
if he is going towards retirement, I think prison is where he's going. I think he'll go down for
Mhm.
this crime to prevent Christina from going down for this
Oh,
crime.
absolutely. He will definitely confess if Christina gets accused.
In my deepest, wildest dreams, Jason turns on Sonny. Not in a I want him to die or anyway, but in a it's time for me to lead my own life and I can't prop this man up anymore.
I would love to see that. That would
But
be
in reality, I think Carly's going to marry Sonny again and I'm going to have to suffer.
yeah, I really hope she doesn't. I really don't.
I don't what do you think with Jordan and this new doctor? Is that a thing? Where are
Yeah,
we going?
that was interesting.
She seemed very
Mhm.
invested to the point of going to Brick, and I love her in Brick. I know some people don't, but I think Brick is very smooth and charming.
Yeah, I
I think,
agree. And Jordan
and we
hasn't
found
really
out he
had a
was like
love
in the F.
interest in a really long time, so it would be good
No,
to see
what a
her with
waste!
somebody. Hmm?
What a waste for her not to.
Yeah.
She's smart. She's got a great job. She's very pretty.
Mhm.
That thing with Curtis blew up forever and a day ago, and they
Mhm.
had tested her with Drew and then withdrew it, and I don't know why.
I liked her with Drew, actually. I thought that was
Me
good.
too. Them when they were axe throwing was
Mhm.
cute and charming, and the way they bonded over how Curtis needs to leave Jordan alone. It's
Agreed.
you either like her or you don't. And I also don't understand why Jordan and Portia are still together because Portia is inherently kind of a bad person.
I don't like Portia at all. I really
I
don't.
I don't. The way she acted when Spencer died was just basically like, I'm so excited that my daughter won't be with that stupid Cassadine boy anymore. I'm like, he's dead. you know, he's dead.
Um, I think the audience will agree that most people don't like Portia.
I wish they would fix that because it's again, we only have so many doctors. And where's Terry? We haven't seen Terry in weeks. Like,
We
where are the
haven't.
doctors?
Well, we saw her with Brad, like, not that long ago.
Yeah, for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah.
And Parry Shan was on for like 2 minutes. I love Parry Shan. He
I
needs to
do
be on
too.
all the
He's
time.
great. Yeah, I would love Lucas to come back too, and then
What do you think though? Like wildest prediction. What do you think is gonna happen?
I think well with Kelly Monaco leaving soon, I
Oh.
think that Christina is going to try to kill Ava, and Sam's going to try to stop her, and she's going to end up dead.
Okay, so I love that, even though I hate the idea of Sam getting murdered after being on the show for so long. I think again it's another waste of a legacy character.
I agree,
Um,
but they say
uh,
they're going to kill her off, so
I mean, if they were unhappy with Kelly Monaco for whatever
mhm.
reason, like I think it was just I don't really know the story behind the scenes. Kelly Monica's been on for so long. It seems weird to just ditch
Mhm.
her for no reason. Um, but they could have gone with Hartley. Like they could have
I
just
agree. I
recast
wish
it
they
and
had.
yeah,
I
because
love
I wanted to see Dante, Lulu, and Sam. I
I
wanted
I
that.
I would love to see that. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's what I mean, if Lizzie Hartley, please come on and take over and
It's
let's
so
do a
good.
Dante Lulu Sam triangle. We need
Mm.
to. That's what I would prefer to happen.
Yeah. Do you want us Michael, Willow, Drew triangle, or do you want that?
I want that. I don't want a Michael
Because
Drew
it
Willow.
shows that Dante is in love with Sam, but still in love with Lulu or the idea of Lulu. And
Right.
Lulu was going to tell Dante she was still in love with him before she was put in the coma.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a really complicated storyline that they're just not going to do, which is a
Mhm.
bummer. It's a
Yeah,
bummer.
I agree.
I can't wait to see Lucky face Liz. Has he never called the children? Has he never talked to Aiden ever?
I hope Liz gives lets him have it for that for
I
sure.
just don't understand General Hospital's predilection towards making all of the adventurer male characters deadbeat dads. Like Frisco Jones was a terrible father, and that's not fair.
Right. Well, Felicia was gone too for a really long time.
Any of the adventurers,
Yeah. Mhm.
they're all like, oh,
Robert,
I have
Anna,
children.
they abandoned
Mhm.
Robin, but I mean they were dead technically.
Robin was being protected though because Anna thought with her double agenting that Robin would get killed. I don't think Robert actually knew he had a daughter until Robin came to town with Philomena. So we can't
Mhm.
really be that mad at Robert because he's kind of been consistent since he knew he had a kid. But
That's
Robert
true.
never wanted to be really in that kind of relationship. He's very resistant to a
Right.
normal relationship.
Agreed. Mhm.
I
All right.
did like seeing Robert and Robert and Mac in a scene together. They are brothers, and
That was
people
great.
seem to forget
Yes.
it.
And he mentioned he's like, "Well, I don't care about Cody." I'm like, "Well, that's your nephew. Why don't you care about Cody?"
Because Robert is very like Robert cares about Mac,
Uh-huh.
Felicia, Anna,
And
and
Robin.
his kids. Yeah, and their
Got
kids, and
it.
that's it.
Well, all right. Anything else?
Just man, I hope that it continues with Jocelyn ripping Carly a new one every 5 minutes for
It's
this
always fun
entire
to watch.
storyline.
Always fun to watch. Yes.
She was just like, "You're so dumb." It was great.
Agreed. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for Queers and Soaps. This is our GH coverage for this week. Thank you again, and we will see you next time.